I might have finally worked out the internet problem, okay? I haven't been able to stream in a long time. I've been very annoyed because I keep doing these bandwidth tests and it tells me, hey, you're dropping half your frames, which means if you're watching the stream, maybe you don't know anything about streaming, that means that half of the time my stream is fine, and the other half of the time you're literally watching a slideshow or a PowerPoint or something, which is insane. It's not exactly fun to watch, and I have no clue how it handles chopping up the audio and stuff like that. Some people have said the audio will play smoothly, but the video will just look like trash. It's just not a good time. Now, here's the thing. Spectrum kind of has a monopoly in my area, with the exception of one other company, but I'll explain because that one other company, they've been screwing me over, okay? So we have an HOA here, a homeowners association. And if you don't know what an HOA is, good for you, because the HOA people are just like the hallway monitors of adult life. They're very weird. They just go to these meetings once a month or once a week or whatever, where they complain about, Tammy, I don't know if you saw on Tammy's porch, she had a children's truck there. That breaks the HOA agreement. We've got to fine her $50 for having a toy truck. They're always on this weird behavior. Like when I've dealt with HOAs where like the people have complained because I changed the oil in my car in the driveway. They're like, you should have done it in the garage. And it's like, well, there was already a car in the garage and I didn't spill oil. Like, I know what I'm doing. It's an oil change. No mess got anywhere. It's not that big of a deal. It is an oil change. And they threw like a little hissy fit about it, dude. It was so strange. I'm not a big fan of HOA people. I think they're little dorks, you know. I cut my grass mainly because I don't want snakes. You know, I do all the typical things. I pressure wash the sides of the house. I mean, we live in an apartment now, but when we lived in a house and there's an HOA, I pressure wash the sides of the house. I pressure wash the sidewalks and my driveway. Yeah, I change my oil and the tires in the driveway, but guess what? I don't make any mess. I cut my grass because I don't like snakes. I keep track of, like, you know, my yard looks good. My windows are clean. The side of my house is clean. What are you complaining about? They complain about anything they can find, okay? So this HOA wanted to have free internet because a lot of the people in the HOA here are people, they own the units, but they really only visit for vacation. I live in a very, like, vacationable area. You know what I mean? So they really just wanted to have some type of free Wi-Fi when they come here. They didn't want to have to worry about paying Spectrum or something. So they got together and they put together this, I can't remember the name of the company, but they had this company come in, they did their own infrastructure. Now you've got free Wi-Fi. Now I knew that this free Wi-Fi would be trash. So from the get-go, I was like, listen, if we're going to have them come in, I need to be guaranteed that I can still just have Spectrum. Because while Spectrum isn't that great, they're at least better. You know what I mean? Like, they at least are consistently, they're more consistent than anything else. And I know that free internet's going to be trash. You know, it's like paying $5 for internet. You know, it's probably not going to be that great. And here's the thing, right? There's people that pay like $20 for gigabit internet. Where I live, gigabit internet is like $125. It's $125. That's how much I'm paying a month. And they say it's slightly above a gigabit, which probably means that one time they tested it and they got like, you know, a gigabit, like 1.1 gigabit. Who knows? You know, it was probably absolutely nothing. No normal person is probably ever going to get those kinds of, you know, that kind of download speed unless they're doing something at like 3 a.m. when nobody's up. And even then, they're probably not going to get it. So you get the idea, right? But I just I need that internet, okay? And I've been noticing, along with the streaming issue, I have this issue where when I'm uploading a video, it'll jump up to like 50% real quickly, and then it'll sit there for like 30 minutes, and then boom, I'll get like another 20%, and then it'll sit there for like 20 minutes. It's like, there's intermittent, you know, struggles it seems to have, and I've done everything I can to look into it on my end. You know, it's weird when you're living in an apartment compared to a house, because I feel like there's a lot more you can do as far as like the connection and infrastructure going into your house, but like an apartment, it's like you have to hope that your neighbors, and you have to hope that the box on the outside of the building doesn't look like an absolute nightmare. Supposedly, we haven't had any of those issues, so we've been very confused. However, this free company, man, this free company that I was talking about, the people that get free Wi-Fi from, the one that I've completely avoided, as it turns out, they've consistently had issues. Like in the group, people talk about losing connection to the free internet every single day. And it makes sense because these are in every unit. Everyone's using them. It can't really be all that great, can it? If everyone's got it and it's free? I don't think so. It's not technically free. You pay extra HOA fees for it. Which is very cool. I love paying for something I'll never use. Thank you, HOA. You guys are the best. I love that you guys get together. Now, I could go to these meetings, but I have a life. So the thing is, right? So The internet goes out a lot, right? They complain about it a lot. I've noticed times where the power will randomly flicker in my unit, and I've been like, why? Like, what is going on here? As it turns out, a lot of times whenever they have a tech for this other internet company, they like cycle the power in the whole building. So my power flickers. I've gotten to the point where I don't even change the time on the stove or the microwave anymore because I know it's going to be flashing, in a few days. That's how annoying it's gotten. So apparently not, and it's not, don't get me wrong, it's not like the power's going out every day, but every couple weeks, like the power flickers and it's like annoying. However, this internet issue is every single day. Why is this happening to me? Why am I dropping 50% of frames? As it turns out, every time they come here, or even when they reset the connection remotely, it affects my other internet because it's all set up through the coaxial. This is their reasoning. It's all set up through the coaxial setting. So there's people apparently who are losing their cable whenever the other company works on internet. Like just regular cable. Like they still... I don't know why anyone would have a regular cable anymore, like with Spectrum, but they have regular cable. And for like 4 hours, they're no longer allowed to see it because this other company is having issues. Huh? I thought that was weird. But as it turns out, that's actually the case. That's actually what is happening here. They've actually reached the point where anytime this company does anything, it screws up the regular internet here. So what I did, I had a Spectrum guy come out and I was just like, I know you know how to get to the box. Can you see where my unit is and completely disconnect whatever relates? Like, I don't care what you do with it. You don't have to obviously get rid of the wire because that would take a lot of work. They went, they buried the line, all that. Just unplug it. Just unplug, just whatever. If there's a way, can you just unplug it? So I no longer have the free internet, but guess what? I ran a bandwidth test last night. Dropped 0 frames. 0 frames. And it was an 8-hour test. So if I streamed for 8 hours, I would drop 0 frames. My stream would be smooth for the 8 hours. Now that was overnight, so that's obviously a lighter period. 6 p.m. would be something different because that's when I would normally stream. But I'll run some tests and we'll see. I have a feeling that the solution, we found the solution. Now it's an awkward time. I do have to leave the country here in a week and a half. So, but it feels like we finally, for the love of God, we have this in order. Because I've been sitting here being annoyed because streaming, it just makes sense. Especially since I upload my content to this channel, it makes sense to stream on this channel. For it to all be put together and to occasionally, be able to talk to you guys and whatnot, because a fair amount of you actually show up when I stream, and you're always very talkative. Like I'll stream for like 2 hours, and there'll be like at least 5 people that will consistently talk, and we can carry a conversation or whatever. And the only way you grow that is by doing it more. Like the only way you get more viewers on your stream is you prove to people that you're willing to stream more. Some of these big streamers can get away with disappearing for like a month, but that's because they've already built up a base. If you haven't built up a base, then the thing that builds up a base is consistency. And, it's been driving me insane that I can't do that. But we have worked out a solution. I hope. I'm doing the tests some more today. And then, after I get back from Colombia later on, that's around, I'll get back from Colombia around like June 12th or something like that. We'll be ready to go. We'll be ready. I'm hoping. I'm going to run tests pretty much the entire time. Not while I'm in Colombia, but, up until I go to Colombia. And, we'll be good, man, because this is insane.